Good morning, afternoon or evening, and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Caroline Seymour, Director of Product Marketing here at Zerto, and I'm delighted to announce the general availability of Zerto Virtual Replication 6.0. The focus and theme for the release is about multi-cloud. And when we talk about multi-cloud, we're not just talking about multiple clouds. This is the ability to move application and data workloads to the cloud, from the cloud, back onto on-premise, or to move that workload to another cloud. So what we're talking about is the ability to move to, from, and between multiple clouds. And it's fully orchestrated and automated. So solving your cloud your way, and the freedom to choose which cloud best suits and solves your business and IT needs. And with me today on the webinar, I have three great speakers. I have Rob Strechay, our own Senior Vice President of Products here at Zerto, and we have speakers from Microsoft and IBM. So from Microsoft, we welcome Scott Aiken, Director of Partner Development, and from IBM, we welcome Zeb Ahmed, IBM Cloud Product Manager. We also have Ryan Siegel, Product Marketing Manager here at Zerto, who will be showcasing 6.0. So welcome everyone. So now, before we delve into the new features, I want to share with you how Zerto has evolved beyond just disaster recovery. We have evolved from hypervisor-based replication to an IT resilience platform to give you so much more than just replication. So what does that mean? So let me talk about IT resilience. If we look at what IT has to deal with, what you have to deal with, first, making sure you can manage and automate and protect against the unplanned disruptions to the business, such as the outages, failures, or ransomware, and natural disasters, which certainly we've seen plenty of those over the last year. And many of you on this call are dealing with one or many of these today, and are in the process of managing and automating the protection of your business from these disruptions. But moving the business forward and innovating, you need to be able to spend more time looking at the planned disruptions that are the good disruptions, that is critical for business growth and innovation. Your company may be going through mergers or acquisitions, and along with that comes IT infrastructure complexity. And that may be the consolidation of the data centers. You may also be going through IT modernization, moving old legacy applications to the cloud. And we see a lot of customers like you moving their disaster recovery strategy or data centers to the cloud to gain cost efficiencies and agility for on-demand computing and also storage needs. So we see moving to cloud is a key part of all of this. And what we see with our customers are that they're shifting more from that reactive approach, solving for the unplanned, and moving to a proactive approach, solving for any disruption, to drive that transformation, innovation, and growth for their company. However, many companies are still grappling with the unplanned, let alone the planned. So delivering on IT resilience is based on three key pillars. First, continuous availability, protecting against any disruption, whether planned or unplanned, to make sure you have that always-on customer experience. Two is the workload mobility, when you're doing migrations and consolidations, to ensure that you can move your application and data workloads confidently and at ease, without risk, and be 100% protected along the way. Multi-cloud agility is about leveraging cloud to accelerate your business growth and truly take advantage of what the cloud can offer you, giving you freedom to move to, from, and between clouds. So, if we look at the platform, and we'll start at the bottom, IT resilience is based on a foundation of continuous data protection. It's at the core of enabling resilience. With best-of-breed replication, with the tightest RTOs and RPOs, you have the confidence that when something happens, you can quickly recover, or you can make proactive changes and just rewind if you don't want to commit to those changes. And this isn't just about the data. This is about your key business services that need protecting. So the platform addresses your applications and your needs around long-term retention of data. Now today you might be using multiple tools to address data protection needs. And Zerto can combine those into one platform. Orchestration and automation is built in, as you really can't modernize and innovate if it's not automated and it's not simple. And so this ensures that you can automate for the unplanned as well as also the planned. We have non-disruptive testing so that you can test to ensure that there is no impact to production. And this really lets you go beyond disaster recovery and use the technology to really help speed up the business. Finally, with analytics and control, you can give management the confidence that you can deliver on your SLAs to the business and to meet any audit and compliance needs. This is one simple IT resilience platform. Now, when we look at multi-cloud and hybrid cloud, it's complex. And so what you see here is a complex architecture for you. And for Zerto, supporting multi-cloud and hybrid cloud as part of the IT resilience platform is critical. Because if you think about IT resilience, it's about the ability to adopt new technology like cloud so you can adapt to change and grow the business, but at the same time protect the business and its customers, your customers. This is why we consider multi-cloud as a core pillar and strategy for IT resilience. So now what I'd like to do is to turn over to Rob Strechay to walk you through Zerto Virtual Replication 6.0 and how we solve for multi-cloud. Rob?
Thank you, Caroline. Really, what we want to show you here with 6.0 is that we're solving for multi-cloud and hybrid cloud in a single platform that provides you continuous availability, data protection, workload mobility. Importantly, to, from, and between multiple clouds, really providing you significant return on investment from our platform. The 6.0 platform really provides you that multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, any-to-any solution. But beyond that, we're also providing you some features that are very important as you make this journey into hybrid cloud. Network analysis. It's very important to understand what's going over that network, because that is the last mile that connects you from cloud to cloud. We'll also talk to our journal file level recovery and the architecture that we've provided that helps you go even further in solving some of your recovery use cases. As always, we've continued our scalability, and we'll talk to enhanced APIs through partnerships with people like VMware. Also, another SaaS delivered application as we continue down the path of bringing you more and more value faster and faster. We'll talk about remote upgrades and how we're helping our service provider customers really get more value out of our platform. As I move into any-to-any mobility, I really want to talk to the three pillars of this release and the three features that we've brought to bear. That's Azure to Azure, failback from AWS, and public cloud to public cloud. A big piece of this, and one of our best partnerships to date, has been with Microsoft. And we're really excited to talk about the fact that our customers have been using Azure in a big way as DR as a service to public cloud. Why is this important? Why do we continue going down this path? Well, now we're starting to provide intra-cloud or region-to-region support within Azure. Why? Because if you have on-premise, you go up to Azure, you decide to use that as your secondary site, you fail over to there, because a rock dropped on your data center, say in Boston. Well, what do I do now? Where is my secondary site now that I'm in Azure? Well, we give you more options here by providing you that region-to-region support. In addition, we also added some new regions into this, helping you go to GovCloud, some more regions in Germany, and some more regions in China. Now I'd like to introduce our guest, Scott Aiken, Director of Partner Development over at Microsoft. Welcome, Scott.
Hello, I'm Scott Aiken with Microsoft, and I have the privilege of managing Zerto across the United States this year. So I want to start with why I believe Microsoft has a unique approach to the market and how we provide the foundation for partners like Zerto to be so critical to our mutual customer success. 90% of Fortune 500 companies trust the Microsoft Cloud. And Microsoft has global scale with over 42 announced Azure regions. That's more than any other cloud provider. And when you start to think about hybrid cloud and the flexibility and the experience it brings, the story becomes even more compelling for us. Customers continue to turn to us as their trusted hybrid cloud provider. Microsoft is the only consistent hybrid cloud in the market. And as I think about partners, I've been in and around the partner business at Microsoft for over 10 years now, and I'm really passionate about our partners. Microsoft continues to invest in roles such as myself to enable our partners to build their solutions on Azure, but also provide a joint go-to-market partnership in solving business and technical needs. Partners like Zerto are key to ensuring customer success. Zerto's disaster recovery and IT resiliency on Azure is a perfect example. So let me set some context before I jump into the timeline. Zerto's been a great partner for some time now. We at Microsoft want to provide unsurpassed support for Zerto's solution on Azure. Both Microsoft and Zerto will continue to invest by working with our development teams to bring innovative features that support our go-to-market as well as our customer success. And quite frankly, as a result of that hard work, Azure provides the best true public cloud support for Zerto today, and we'll continue to invest going forward. We're finding that Zerto's disaster recovery is one of the first workloads that customers are deploying in Azure, and the simplicity that Zerto brings makes that experience painless for both IT and operations. Now let me move to the timeline. Early in 2017, Zerto announced support to include a simple one-way failover into Azure, which is available on the marketplace today. Then about mid-2017, Zerto released version 5.5, which added many features to include full-cycle disaster recovery. What do I mean by that? You can fail into Azure, and now you can fail back on-prem. And all the successes early in 2017 led Microsoft and Zerto to formalize a go-to-market partnership, allowing our teams to work together in solving customer needs. Today, I'm very pleased that Zerto's added support for Azure to Azure disaster recovery. This means that a customer journey starting from on-prem to the cloud can be protected by Zerto, and if and when a customer chooses to separate themselves from on-prem, Zerto will continue to protect that one Azure location to another Azure location. And lastly, 6.0 release. This supports migrations from other public clouds into Azure, enabling customers to realize the advantages of the Microsoft Azure platform. So finally, we're looking forward to continue to work together and even further our development in our releases. I would ask you, if you want to learn more about both Zerto and Azure, please reach out to your account teams. Let them walk you through disaster recovery in Azure and show you how that would work. And finally, again, Scott Aiken on LinkedIn reach out to me. Love to hear from you. Let me know how I can help you, and I'll turn this back over to Zerto. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Now I'd like to talk to another one of the features that we brought out in our 6.0 platform. It's failback from AWS. Some of you may have been Zerto customers for quite a while and know that back in 2014 we actually brought you to AWS. Well, it's taken us a little while, and we've gotten a great momentum going with our AWS customers to use that as a DR as a service platform and target. And what we've done now is enabled you to get back home again from AWS with the replication and automation to bring you back on premise. And we took any-to-any multi-cloud a step further, introducing our intercloud, public cloud to public cloud offering. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, now you have the abilities of being able to try out a particular cloud and understand that if maybe you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, you can move between clouds. We've unlocked that potential for you. Our platform, the Zerto platform for IT resiliency, really gives you, the end user, the choice of picking which cloud. Maybe this year it's going to be AWS. Maybe then you want to transition over to Azure or to another cloud. We provide that to you with the bidirectional support for intercloud. You can even go back on premise. Again, it's cloud your way. Continuing on our any-to-any journey, enabled by that failback from AWS, we now provide you true multi-cloud hybrid cloud. Also enhanced by our feature of one-to-many, which allows you to have multiple different SLAs for the same application. So I could have one SLA going to Azure with another SLA going to IBM Cloud. Why is this important? I could leverage multiple different service providers or my on-premise locations. So maybe I have expensive storage on my on-premise locations where I want to have a shorter retention period, but leverage the costs of the cloud and this cheaper storage in the clouds to have a 30-day retention period in the cloud. I can do this and design this whichever way I want, including with the Zerto cloud service providers being a part of this ecosystem. Why is that important? The Zerto cloud ecosystem has over 350 cloud partners that make up the vast majority of the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Don't take my word for it. You can ask John Morency over there, where he published a SWOT about Zerto last year that talks about us having over 60% of the participants in that Magic Quadrant. If you start to take out the people who actually do their own software or compete against us, it's actually higher than that. We have over 90% of the providers in there. So you probably are already using one of these as a service provider. It gives you that great choice to also include in public cloud with that. So it's not either or, it's both. This gives you that same experience, gives you that same reliability, also provides you a great service provider who's built a business based on Zerto's platform. So you have the confidence to use the Zerto platform. Others have built their businesses on it. One of the reasons so many people use Zerto and so many people have enjoyed it, and the customer feedback that we get, is it's one platform. It's one user experience across clouds. I don't care if you're using VMware to VMware, VMware to AWS, AWS to Azure, Azure back on-prem, going out to IBM, maybe to one of our cloud service providers, it all looks the same. That's the key. Cloud your way. We abstract out all the complexity and really bring it to you in a way that's clean and understandable. With that being said, Now I want to welcome Ryan, who's going to give us a demo of Zerto Virtual Replication 6.0 and the multi-cloud functionality within.
Thanks, Rob. And everyone, the view that we're looking at here is the Zerto Analytics dashboard, which we'll tour a bit more in depth later. But for now, what I'm showing you here is the visibility of multiple environments, even when that means they aren't all connected. So we have an Azure region replicating to another Azure region. We also have an IBM Cloud site, and this could be for DR purposes or even for migrations to the cloud with the intent to reprotect something to another cloud site once the workload is there. This view shows us the status of each VPG and helps us to compare site performance in the event we're using something like one-to-many replication to protect the same VPG to multiple destinations. Now let's look at some of the individual site portals. The first Azure site is connected to a vSphere site, and it's replicating our VPG out to an on-premises VMware vSphere site. Our second Azure site is connected to another Azure region for intra-cloud protection and recovery. And this existing VPG shows replication from one Azure region to another Azure region. One of our VMware sites is showing vSphere replicating cross-hypervisor to Hyper-V. So this makes trying new technology extremely easy and also rapidly accelerates the movement of workloads during mergers and acquisitions, where data is usually the last thing to move. And vSphere is also replicating to AWS and Azure, promoting my hybrid cloud and multi-cloud strategy. And finally, AWS can now replicate back to your on-premises site for true bidirectional hybrid cloud capabilities within one single platform. And now I'm going to show you how easy it is to perform a failover into AWS while configuring the automatic configuration of reverse replication. The failover wizard shows us how we can simply select a VPG replicating to AWS and then select whichever particular checkpoint we need to recover from. Here we're showing over 1,600 checkpoints, all seconds apart for this particular VPG. And we can actually now select the failback options such as failover commit policy and automatic reverse replication, making it incredibly easy to try AWS or DR to AWS to get workloads back when you need them back. And I'll just cancel this wizard now and we can flip back over to our presentation. So with that, I will hand things back over to Rob.
Great job, Ryan. Thanks so much. Now I'd like to introduce our guest, Zeb Ahmed, product manager over at IBM Cloud, who will talk to us about how Zerto and IBM are built for business and enterprise resilience.
Thank you, Rob. Hi, guys. This is Zeb Ahmed, product management, IBM Cloud. Zerto team, really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak on this webcast. I really want to tell you guys about what IBM Cloud and Zerto have partnered together and what are some of the very cool things we're doing together and taking to market. I'll start off with level setting with you guys and giving you a little bit more information on IBM as a whole, and especially how IBM plays in the disaster recovery and IT resiliency space. So a few metrics here. The one that really sticks out to me is at the bottom, which is 2.5 exabytes of customer data managed. I mean, that's a humongous number and just goes to show how many workloads and how IBM is playing in that space and protecting all that data. We really invest in our engineering and architecture also. About 4,000 plus engineers and professionals who are dedicated to this practice. Over 300 data centers and over 50 years in this practice. So in a nutshell, IBM knows what it's doing in the space. We've been doing this for quite some time. And the next slide will just validate that for you. Gartner, that you're very familiar with, ranks us as a leader and a visionary in the space as of 2017. Now, the next slide, this is going to surprise you guys, right? You'll see the number one listing there, number one operator of VMware workloads in the world. Now, what that means is that whether the workload is on-premise, whether the workload is in private cloud, public cloud, IBM is engaged in all those VMware environments at some level, whether it's services, whether it's implementation, consultation services, whether it's cloud, public, private, hybrid, you name it. That means that IBM at some level is engaged in all those opportunities. So this presents a big opportunity for not just IBM, because since we're already engaged, leveraging all these customers that are existing VMware customers, right, and upselling them to a IT resilience or DR, but also it presents a huge opportunity for our CSPs and our partners who want to get engaged with those customers and sell them DRaaS offerings. Now, on the next slide, I'll take a step back a little bit and give you a little bit of a history on IBM and how IBM Cloud has evolved over time and how VMware and Zerto came about. So in 2014, IBM acquired a cloud company by the name of SoftLayer, which you guys may be familiar with. And with SoftLayer came with a huge bare metal practice. Yes, we also had a public cloud environment where we had, fairly large amount of customers. But we very quickly realized that given the traction that we have in the VMware space, it just made logical sense for us to partner with VMware and not only just sell the VMware licensing, which we were doing previously, but also selling a value add to that and build very, appealing solutions and solve for customer use cases. So one of the most common use cases for any customer or a VMware customer that is either on-premise or they're looking to lift and shift to the cloud is how do they protect that data on an ongoing basis. So we went out, we looked at many different partners, many different products that are out there that do this for the VMware platform. And the one we chose to go with is Zerto. And I think most of you guys on the call would probably agree with me just because of the rich feature set and the capabilities Zerto has with zero downtime and the RPOs and RTOs you can achieve. It just made sense for us to partner with Zerto and make it our flagship product for all our customers, whether they're on-premise or in the cloud, for IT resiliency. So today, any customer that IBM Cloud either brings to cloud and they want to protect their data, or they're on-premise and they're wanting to leverage a cloud provider to fail their data over to, Zerto is the product and the solution that we use today. Now, how have we solved for IT resiliency and what's our target market, et cetera, with Zerto? So today with Zerto, you can either land on a shared platform depending on your needs. So, if security is not a big issue for you and you're okay leveraging a shared platform, for disaster recovery to lower your costs, we have that problem solved in IBM Cloud. Now, if you are a large enterprise and going dedicated infrastructure makes more sense to you, you can do that as well. Both of these platforms have scale up and scale down capabilities. So it allows you to keep your costs low, where you can scale up in a DR event and scale back down. Just think about it for a second. This is common. Scale up and scale down is very common for a shared platform. But in a dedicated platform, being able to scale up and scale down by each physical node at a time in a DR event is not something that everybody's doing out there, right? So this is something that IBM is doing, and we've automated a lot of that functionality for our end customers to consume. Now, when you're talking DRaaS and talking IT resiliency, and a lot of times, customers do not have capabilities to implement it themselves, or they're looking for a fully managed solution. So IBM has full breadth of services, whether you want implementation services, consultation services, managed services, you name it, and IBM has it. So we've built a full portfolio of services around our DR practice with Zerto in IBM. And last but not least, with the global presence that IBM has today, so many data centers, it doesn't matter which region you are in, most likely IBM can solve for the DR challenge that exists today in your company. And with the private backbone that we have, where all our IBM Cloud data centers are connected at layer 2, there's quite a bit of fiber. I think it's about 5 terabytes plus as it sits today. But it's all connected. There's no additional cost for you to transfer your data or replicate your data, which keeps your DR cost fairly low. And in addition, you get the capabilities of IBM managing and monitoring those pipes and giving you the latency and the bandwidth required to replicate your data very efficiently. So, those are some of the things that I wanted to bring up, that IBM and Zerto are doing together and then taking some of these solutions to market. So I'll stop here, and I'm going to pass it back to Rob to go over some of the other content that he has prepared. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Zeb. Now I want to take you into the next phase. We kind of briefly talked about how we had SaaS-delivered applications up in the front end. I think this is a new way that we're changing how you consume IT resiliency and an IT resiliency platform. We brought out Zerto Analytics a little over a year ago, and we've been continuing to improve and give you more features and functionality. The great thing about SaaS is we don't have to wait for major releases to put this out. But tying into what we're doing here with our 6.0, we do have some really neat stuff that will help you in your multi-cloud journey. In particular, we have new network performance analysis and new 30-day network history. And as always, our Zerto Analytics can be consumed via the API, and it's an API-driven infrastructure. Just a little reminder for those of you who haven't really gone into Zerto Analytics as of yet, if you take your MyZerto login and go up to MyZerto, and you'll go up there and you'll be able to see a tab off to the right that says Analytics. Click on it. It'll take you inside and give you a rich view of the multi-site, multi-cloud functionality. So if you're looking to see maybe you doing Hyper-V to VMware, VMware out to AWS or out to Azure, maybe even over to IBM or to one of our cloud service providers, you'll be able to see this full map and understand where is my data, where is it going, what are my recovery point objectives, what are my recovery time objectives, and understand and get a deep analysis of that over the last 30 days. So again, some powerful analytics in there, powerful information, powerful reporting that you can also take on the go with our mobile application. But what did we do here today? What we've brought you today and want to talk about a little bit deeper is our network reporting. Based on the Zerto Analytics platform, we're bringing you a network summary. This network summary is boiling up information into a consumable, easy to understand what's going on with my virtual protection group, which is kind of that atomic unit for an application. So I get to understand how well is my application utilizing that network segment for replication. Why is this important? Maybe you start to get some network performance history because you get a phone call that says, hey, things were slow in our replication when we were trying to do some failovers. We got a warning, and we got a warning around the recovery point objective was not meeting SLA. Now you can look at and troubleshoot within your network to understand where is the bottleneck. What's nice about this is you not only see it from a throughput and a WAN traffic perspective, and you can zoom in, but then you can also look at the I/O history. So you can see, was there an ETL happening on a database that may have spiked the activity of that database and the number of I/Os that's outside of norm. This way you get to understand what's going on within your infrastructure and you get a better viewpoint in there. Now I want to welcome back Ryan to give us a demo of Zerto Analytics and what's going on and what's new in there.
Thanks, Rob. And everyone, we saw some of the power of Zerto Analytics earlier, but now I'd like to show you the new network reporting in the Analytics platform. And keep in mind, we can still look at real-time data, plus look at data up to 30 days in the past. I'll choose the amount of time this particular VPG has been active. But in our reports view, we can now choose network from the drop-down list. And this new network report gives us the power to look at things like average and max throughput of WAN traffic, along with average and max IOPS for this particular VPG. We can also drill into the traffic between two sites and select which sites we'd like to compare across the top here. So why don't I select this VMware environment here, and I'll compare that to my AWS environment. And as you can see, we can now easily view the same types of performance characteristics of specific site connectivity and throughput. And you guys can see how easy it is to compare site performance or to begin to troubleshoot suspected issues. And lastly, we now have a view into the total outgoing performance from any single site. And this can help us understand the amount of data being sent from each site over a 30-day period. It can help us look for anomalies, and also view the minimal network requirements for a particular platform, all with continuous replication at the block level. I'm going to turn it back over to Rob so we can continue the presentation, but thanks for joining.
Thanks, Ryan. Now I want to talk to you about our journal file level recovery and the enhancements that we've made to it in 6.0. One of the best features, probably doesn't get enough airtime, is our journal file level recovery. This is where, if you know about how Zerto works, we have a journal. This journal is kind of like your DVR. It gives you different checkpoints that you can go back to. So if you want to go back 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, or up to 4 weeks, 30 days back, you can now go back to those different checkpoints within Zerto and get a perspective on what did things look like at that point in time without having to fail over, without having to turn the VM on. This is important. Why? Because it takes time to do those activities and to go through and troubleshoot it. But if you get a call from Susie in accounting and she says, hey, I went and deleted folder X back last Wednesday by accident, and it had all of my journals in it that I need to close the books for the end of the quarter. Can you help me? Now you can go back and help Susie out by going back in time to right before she deleted it and pull back that file, that folder. Maybe Susie's an admin and she actually deleted the VMDKs from a VM she turned off. You can go back in time and pull back those VMDKs from that point in time as well. So again, very powerful. So where do we go from here? Now we're bringing journal file level recovery out for Linux. Up to this point, we had it for Windows, but now we've enhanced it to cover the extent file system from Linux as well. We've also enhanced the performance with mounting and downloading of those files or folders. Also removing some of the limitations we had on the size of the files that you could actually pull back from the journal. This is really important for those people who are looking to do testing or DevOps kinds of activities, because now you can go up into a public cloud, leverage that public cloud by pulling out of the journal and putting those files local to use them for test and dev purposes. That is really important to start to solve for. How do I refresh my environment? How do I know that this application will work? How do I go and enhance it? You get all of this out of journal file level recovery by bringing back files and folders in a very quick and efficient manner. As you would expect with a growing company like Zerto, we continue to get larger and larger customers. So scale and enhancing that scalability becomes really important. Now we're starting to see customers that are having 7,500, 8,000 VMs per vCenter. So we've gone up and scaled our support from 5,000 to 10,000 VMs within each Zerto Virtual Manager VMware vCenter pair. This is very important for our customers. It helps with the ultimate scalability of the product, and it also means that you could have up to 10,000 virtual protection groups or groupings of VMs inside each pair as well. Very important for our larger customers as well as our service providers so that they can get higher return on investment on their VMware infrastructure. We also continue to enhance our APIs and our usage of APIs. So with Zerto 6.0, what we're bringing out here in the platform is more heavily leveraging the vCloud Director API set. We also support the SDK still, but what we're doing is taking some of the enhanced features that VMware is putting out in vCloud Director, like guest customization, and pulling those features in so that you have more granularity in how you can use that to do your provisioning of the Zerto infrastructure, of the applications, and where the storage sits and where the journal sits. This helps you and shows that our continued partnership with VMware is an extremely powerful thing, and we continue to work with VMware very closely, especially on the vCloud Director platform. Stay tuned for some more exciting news on that as we go through the next couple releases this year as well. Now I want to talk to you about remote upgrades, another SaaS delivered application that we've brought out. You might say again, why SaaS? Well, we can iterate through the application and upgrades and new feature enhancements in a much quicker way that doesn't require you to download and upgrade your on-prem. This new feature will be deployed via our Cloud Service Provider portal. You may ask, why the Cloud Service Provider portal? Well, this is really to help our cloud service providers and their DR as a service or DRaaS customers get upgraded more effectively, more efficiently, to help them better utilize our IT resilience platform and the features that we continue to bring out. This helps the service providers stay within compliance with their needs and requirements to their customers. Also provides more visibility and control to the site versions as well, which allows our customers to have better confidence that they're staying up to date. Just a quick look at what this looks like and what the Cloud Service Provider portal will look like. Once again, to get to this, you'll be able to log in through your MyZerto account and you'll be taken to this. So to close out my portion of the presentation, I really want to hammer home that the Zerto Virtual Replication 6.0 is the true IT resiliency platform to bring you multi-cloud and hybrid cloud capabilities. With our any-to-any capabilities, that mobility between AWS, Azure, Azure with itself, and public cloud to public cloud, be it with IBM or one of our Zerto cloud service providers. We really truly give you that any-to-any mobility. Also important is network analysis and understanding what's going across that pipe. How is my application being replicated? Am I within the tolerances that I've set forward? Also enhancing our journal file level recovery, adding Linux to the party and bringing you to Linux file system is something that you can bring back those files and folders and recover without having to pull back an entire VM. Enhancing our scalability, continuing to get larger and larger customers, larger and larger service providers. This will continue to be enhanced as we go forward, but it's really important to know that we have our eye on the future. We also continue to partner with and utilize APIs. We are a strong user of APIs within the public cloud, and as I talked about here with vCloud Director, continue to leverage our strong partnership with VMware and the VMware APIs that we can use as we put out our REST APIs for our customers to use. Very important to understand that we have a number of customers utilizing our REST APIs as well as our service providers such as IBM who heavily instrument their environment using our APIs. And finally, to talk about remote upgrades. Again, another SaaS delivered application that is focused on our cloud service providers being able to quickly enhance the experience for their customers and bring them along so that they can get to utilize and their customers get to utilize the Zerto features more efficiently and quicker. This will help also as we start to go down the road for our enterprise customers in future releases. And with that, I want to hand it back over to Caroline to talk to you about ZertoCon.
Thank you, Rob. And I'd also like to thank Scott, Zeb, and Ryan. And I hope that everyone on the call today got value out of the launch webinar. And I hope that you agree that we've added significant features to help accelerate your journey to the cloud. So let's talk about ZertoCon. Because to find out more about 6.0, we have many in-depth training sessions and hands-on labs planned for ZertoCon in May. and that's May the 21st to the 23rd. And we shall cover all of these new features that Rob discussed. And this year, we have added a separate track just for cloud to help you accelerate your adoption to cloud, whether it's hybrid, multi-cloud. And so you will not want to miss out on this opportunity. And you will also hear and be among the first to hear some game-changing announcements that we're going to be making at ZertoCon that will have a huge positive impact to drive IT resilience for your company. And so, up until February the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, as we all know, we have a special promotion just for the 6.0 launch that we're calling Share the Love. And this is a buy one conference pass, get one free. So more people in your organization can get the training and information that you need for all of the capabilities of the Zerto IT Resilience platform, and to ensure that you are successful with Zerto. So register now and don't miss out. And so with that, I would like to close the webinar and thank everyone for attending today. Thank you.